We are now officially less than a week away till Red Dead Redemption 2 launches on the 26th of October. I keep saying this in each and every video that I've done, but it really is crazy to think that this game is out next week and we'll all be able to experience this new masterpiece from Rockstar. Rockstar recently launched the Red Dead Redemption 2 launch trailer, which was only 1 minute long, but it provided us with so much more information about the game's story. Now, I think this will be the last piece of Red Dead Redemption 2 which will be revealed before the game's launch. With that being said, leading up to the game's launch in less than a week, I wanted to ensure that you are all up to date with everything Red Dead Redemption 2, so you are ready for when the game launches. I'm Bailey, and today we will be discussing the time jumps which seem to occur in Red Dead Redemption 2. Before I begin, guys, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button since it helps out so much, because I'm your best and #1 source for everything Red Dead Redemption 2. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So we all know that Red Dead Redemption 2 is set in America 1899, where America was evolving to become the most powerful country in the world. The game's story begins after a robbery goes badly wrong in the town of Blackwater, which causes Arthur Morgan and the Van der Linde gang to flee. The gang must rob, steal, and fight their way across the rugged heartland of America in order to survive. The game's story will progress through 5 chapters, with chapter 5 being the final one. We know this information as the PlayStation trophy list for Red Dead Redemption 2 was leaked. In this leak, we learned that the player would be awarded with a trophy / achievement for completing each chapter, and there was 5 in total. These trophies for completing each chapter did have a title for it, but for spoiler reasons I won't be going into this today. So why would there be chapters in Red Dead Redemption 2? Would this be to mark our progression through the story so we can tell our progression easily, or is it for other reasons? Now, so far with all the screenshots, trailers and gameplay videos for Red Dead Redemption 2, we see Arthur's age changing. Some of these screenshots, trailers and gameplay videos, we see Arthur looking young in some and old in the others. For a brief example of this, in the launch trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2, in the scene where Arthur is performing a train heist, he looks very young than he has done from what we have seen previously. Then later on in the launch trailer, we see a brief clip of Arthur performing the heist in the Lemoyne National Bank, but in this scene, he looks a lot older. With that being said about Arthur's age changing from one scene to another, could this mean that in Red Dead Redemption 2 there will be time jumps with the story? Further to add to this, in one of IGN's hands-on preview with Red Dead Redemption 2, in which they were able to play the game, they said this: "At one point I rode up to an old man watching 2 younger men building the frontage of a house. The old man told me how these were his sons, that he thought teaching them how to build their own home would build characters, and that, sadly, they were awful at it. As to prove a point, the frame of the house promptly fell on and killed me." Unintentional comedy aside, Rockstar points out that over time this house will become more developed and the old man will have more to say, emphasizing how long you've spent with Arthur. Now, this part of the article by IGN further confirms that there will be some sort of time jumps in Red Dead Redemption 2. So we've got the story being made up of 5 chapters. Arthur's age varies from each trailer, screenshot and gameplay video we've seen, and from the IGN article, houses will develop over time. So it very much seems like in Red Dead Redemption 2 there will be some sort of time jump. So the question is, how does the time pass in Red Dead Redemption 2, and how do we initiate this? So far we know that there will be 5 chapters in Red Dead Redemption 2. My guess is that once we complete a chapter in the story and move on to the following, then that will initiate the time jump. Now, I wouldn't be able to tell you how big or small these time jumps will be. It could be months or could be years, but Arthur's age change from what we've seen in the gameplay videos, trailers and screenshots could give us an idea. I don't think they will be ridiculously big like 5 years later, but I do think the time jumps will be up to 3 to 12 months. With that being answered, it provides more questions such as what will happen to the world, characters, Arthur's gear, and so on. With the time jumps, I do think the world of Red Dead Redemption 2 will change slightly with each chapter of the story we complete, as it did say in the IGN article that Rockstar did point out and say that over time the house that they found will become more developed. So could it mean that in the first chapter of the game the house is currently in development, but say in chapter 3 it could be built and fully complete? So if you think that this house will develop over time and finally will be complete, can you imagine what the massive differences to the world will be like with each time jump? Now, Arthur as a character and his gear will probably all stay the same and won't change with time jumps. I think the only thing that will change as Arthur will be his age. Then finally, what about the other characters in the world? Obviously with the time jumps they would age too, but it would add to seeing them change over time, such as Dutch. From the start of Red Dead Redemption 2, it seems like Dutch has some sort of control of the gang after the botched robbery, but over time with the time jumps and progressing through the game's story, we slowly see him lose grip. Again, these are just my speculations on what I think will happen with the time jumps, but I am more than certain that there will be some sort of time progression of some sort through the game and some sort of time jump. If so, I think this will be a great new addition to Red Dead Redemption 2, and it wouldn't feel like you're just in an open world game which is just all the same. It would give us, the player, the feeling when playing this game that the world is really alive and changes over time with our progression through the story. We know that Rockstar always want to set the bar high when it comes to their new games, so could this be part of it? Either way, I'm really excited to see what Rockstar are going to do with the story for Red Dead Redemption 2. So guys, that's all I have to say for you today. I should keep you all informed on any new information which is worth mentioning in future videos. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Let me know in the comment section below, do you think there will be time jumps in Red Dead Redemption 2? And if you want to see more fresh content, hit that subscribe button. Guys, thanks for watching. I love your faces, and I'll see you in the next one.